Yeah, for people who think that a quick hitch is not worth having when you have a cab, here I am latching my quick hitch right from the cab. Hey everybody, this is Jared here. We're getting ready to do a little driveway maintenance on this very long driveway. It's not comprised of a ton of gravel, and I can't blame the owner. I mean, once again, this would be in an enormous amount of driveway to have to gravel from front to back. It's got gravel on it, but a lot of like berm fill and stuff like that, but it takes quite a beating. And he's got quite a few potholes. There's really not much of a crown. There's some chunky recycled asphalt underneath, so we may even kick some of that up, but we're going to use the Woods grader scraper here today and try to put this driveway into better shape before winter. In order to get rid of potholes, you can't just scrape over them and fill them in. It'll never be as packed as the ground around it, so the tires and everything will just bounce and just push right back out. So the only solution is to actually cut down to at least the lowest level of the potholes and regrade and spread everything else out, so it is then all compacted together instead of having these little holes here and there with uncompacted fill in them that's just going to come right back out. So let's walk along here and take a look at some of this. So there's a pothole there. You can kind of just tell from the gravel sitting in it, as well as another one here. But you can see the driveway goes up and down quite a bit and then, turns a little bit. But we're going to see if we can't put this guy into a little bit better shape and also, like I said, give it a crown. Part of the issue is the driveway does set a little lower than the grass around it in certain places, like through there. But if we can get the crown it so the water will flow, come down here into a lower spot, then it'll have the ability to get off. Same thing up there. We got a nice little low spot we can get water to, and should have it every now and then. But you're going to see up there, it looks like we got a pretty good, probably what used to be a mud spot, dried out now. We've had a few days of dry weather, so everything should turn over good. There's a chunk of recycled asphalt that's going to kick up and prove to be a little bit of an issue. We'll just have to stop and probably pull it out because it's obviously not going to want to flow and level real well. So I'm starting off running the grader scraper with just the blades and no scarifiers. You'll see here in a little bit that needs to change. I'm going to flip the scarifiers and put them down, but it is cutting, but you can see it's cutting only in the center. And that's not truly a crown, that's just a high spot in the center where there's become low spots where the tires have run over and over. if you pay attention, every now and then you can see the grader scraper jump up, and that's due to large rocks or the asphalt chunks I was talking about. And that's why it's kind of important to not have those. They can either get stuck and they can dig in and drag, or they will slide under the blade and cause the blade to bounce up. Finally getting into a spot here where it's cutting all the way across the grader scraper instead of just knocking out a high spot in the center. So I've had enough of trying to cut with just the blades. This is way too hard packed, especially since it's burn material that was brought in, and it truly, that is what it was. So now I've put the scarifiers down, and we're going to let them dig in and rip this up, and then we'll go back over it with just the blades. So I just picked up there because that is where they took a field tile across. And although I know the tile is deep enough, I'm not worried about hitting that. I don't want to dig up anything right there. There's no potholes or anything, and it's actually kind of low. So I'm going to end up needing to bring material to that spot anyways. And then there's another spot. Now you'll notice while watching this and normal speed, with the scarifiers down, I'm not going very fast. I'm just keeping a nice steady pace, and what I'm trying to do is I want the scarifiers to dig in, to pull themselves down underground and not jump around. if I try to go too fast, it's going to do a lot of hopping and a lot of jumping, and it's not going to dig as well as it would be if I'm going slow. So I have the scarifiers flip back over to where they're above grade now, and I'm running with just the two blades. I'm running it fairly horizontal right now, and I mean horizontal front to back, meaning I do not have the front tipped up, I don't have the rear tipped up, I'm just running it kind of flat. But I do have it angled side to side tilt where it's a little higher, where I'm running the center of the driveway. So that would be my left drive tire is a little higher because I want to create that crown. So we're piling up quite a bit of material in a grader scraper, and that's for a couple reasons. Number one, if you look at the shoes, they are digging quite a bit, and that's because I don't have it angled up. Number two, it's just the type of material it is, so it doesn't flow really good like just a lot of pure gravel. And number three, I'm not going very fast yet. I will pick up speed, but right now I'm not doing that. I'm just kind of going slow and hoping to carry material where I need it to go before I start to do my final passes. So I'm going to dump a little bit of extra material right there. That'll help spread out in this area. It's a little bit of a low spot, and don't let anybody tell you that a grader scraper doesn't carry material, because you just saw it carrying material. One of the nicest things about a grader scraper or a land plane is the more passes you make, the better it's going to get. You just keep going over it over and over and over, and it keeps spreading the material out and leveling it. It does a fantastic job. See that groove? That's either from a large rock or a chunk of asphalt. So you can see here I'm moving along at a little bit quicker speed than I was earlier, and that's because I want that material to flow and really come out, spread all the way across the back of the grader scraper. You can tell there that it is flowing up and over those blades really nice and beautifully, creating a nice smooth driveway. And then this angle will let you see that I have the grader scraper tilted back just a little bit. So the front is angled up. That'll help keep the front from digging and help smooth the material out without carrying too much away. Last pass is done. Now let's go check out our work. Alright, so this is the finished product. For being mostly just berm fill, the driveway turned out fantastic. I did kick up a few big chunks and pieces of asphalt and larger rocks, but they flew over and turned over the grader scraper pretty well. You'll notice in the video that I started off, I was going pretty slow, especially when cutting, with the scarifiers down, and that works out best for making sure you're not bouncing around jumping. Now once you get everything kind of broke up and you're doing your leveling passes, speed up a little bit. It helps the material flow over top of the blades and it really helps with leveling. But let's walk up through here a little bit and take a look at the road, the driveway. Now once again, there's no potholes. All the potholes are cut out. It's got some pretty big rocks and stuff, and as you can see, it's mostly, like I said, berm fill, but it's nice and flat and level now. It's not potholey. It's got a little bit of a crown to it. Kind of difficult to crown it too much with this material, but overall, it turned out pretty good. We'll be able to tell here in a couple weeks how it turned out overall. If I need to touch it up, won't be a big deal. I'm over here, I snow plow this driveway anyway, so I'll be able to see what it looks like here in a few weeks. But guys, do me a favor, like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of any future videos, and drop a note in the comments. Let me know if you guys have a grader scraper, what you do for driveways, if you use box blade, back blade, or what, and look forward to any comments. We'll talk to you guys later.